what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Jackpot Joey Burrow and the AFC Division Champion Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 1,826 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you guys because, like I always say, if it wasn't for you guys watching, I would have no reason to do this. Now, if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button. Hit the bell for the notification. Every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you like to make sure your question to Miss Jennifer Gunther, who is the mother of the Bengals defensive player, Jeffery Gunther, make sure she gets it answered or asked it. Give me a super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys. Ken Riley is third on the list from the Veterans Committee to hopefully make the Hall of Fame this year. This is the closest we have gotten for this. I'm not trying to run over this or shorten this at all, but I'm going to get Ken Riley the second on my show tomorrow or Friday. So we'll definitely be talking about this more. But this is great news. But I don't want to keep her waiting any longer than I have to. She rushed home to get on the show for me, and I appreciate this from the bottom of my heart. She is Jennifer Gunther. Gunner. I still messed it up.
It's okay.
Hi, Jennifer. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. All right. So for the record, it's not Gunther. It's Gunner, right?
That's right. You said it right.
I got
Gunner,
it right.
not
I
Gunther.
got that right.
No TH.
Yep.
Gunner.
Gunner.
Yes.
That's how you play. Yeah, I spelled it with an H because, well, like you said, the announcers were kept saying Gunther. That's how I just assumed it was Gunther. Then you're like, no, it's Gunner. I'm like, oh, well, that makes more sense.
It's all right. We're thankful they were saying his name. So
right. Well, hey, they were saying his name because he was playing good. He had a lot of good plays there Friday night.
Right.
So what was that like watching your son in his first, I know it's preseason, but still it's his first NFL game?
It was definitely surreal. I was so excited that I could join him in this process. He has wanted to be in the NFL since he was 5.
Right.
And so grateful to the Bengals family, the Browns, and everybody for giving him an opportunity. So, from the time he was 5 years old, he came in and he's like, Mom, I want to go to the NFL. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure.
Right.
Just like he was saying he was Superman. And so, so that's why I kind of patted it on his head. And then when he was 8, he was like, no, Mom, I seriously want to go to the NFL. I want you to put me in football so I can play. And so I was like, all right, he seems pretty serious. And so he's kept the same work ethic and he has stayed focused. And so we got him a trainer when I think he was like in the 6th grade, and he, kind of stayed focused, kind of always been under the radar, but has had this drive to prove everybody wrong. Even all those naysayers that says, you're not good enough, you're not big enough, you're not strong enough. He has had this drive since the very beginning to prove everybody wrong. So it was definitely a dream come true for him. I almost was like, is somebody going to wake us up? Are we going to be back in the coastal stands in the second here?
Right.
So very grateful. And I'm so glad that he had a very good night. And, obviously he is a rookie and he's got some things to work on, which he knows that, but glad that he had a great debut. So very proud.
Yes. Yeah, you should be. I think he had a great game for a preseason debut. He made a lot of plays where he stood out. You saw him out there. You saw 93 out there. So that's a good thing. If I'm noticing it, then the coaches are noticing. So that's a good thing. And Jeff is a really good dude. I talked to him a couple of times outside of practice, and he said he'd come on my show. He has to make sure he makes the 53. I said, dude, I completely understand. focus on what you're doing.
That's right.
So then I found out that you were following me. So I'm like, oh, cool. I'll start talking to her because I wanted to find out how you were doing because you had your cancer and everything, and you're telling me off the air of where you're at on that right now.
Yeah. So I I didn't think Jeff was going to mention it. I've been kind of flying under the radar with this. Like
Right.
some of my friends don't even know, so I guess they'll know now.
Right.
So I have large B cell lymphoma.
Okay.
And I didn't find out until it was after the Shrine Bowl game.
Okay.
East-West Shrine Bowl game in February, I got diagnosed. And I kind of kept it from Jeff because I wanted him to stay focused and not worry about me at home and things we had going on. Because I'm sure you guys know his story that I went through a terrible divorce, and he felt like he had to come home to be near me for that. You know, he transferred to NC State to kind of help me with the kids and things like that. And so I didn't want him thinking he had to be close to home. You know, I wanted him just to focus on getting to the next level, being the best football player he could be. So I kind of kept it from him, which, you know, I feel bad for. But, you know, it worked out. He did what he had to do. He didn't have to worry about me. So I did 6 rounds of chemo. I did 17 rounds of radiation and was done in time to make the game. So that's why it meant so much to him. So, yes, I was done in time to get my flight to Cincinnati. You know, I was a little tired with everything, but I was so grateful to see his first, like you said, it just, even though it was preseason, I was grateful that everything had worked out where I was well enough to come out and see him play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and for what you had to go through to get there, I mean, I'm sure it meant even more to him that, you know, you went through all that and you're hopefully on the backside of this thing, we're hoping, and you'll be able to get to come to more and more games. But I know if it was my kid, I'd be doing anything I could to get to it. So I know it meant a lot to you and it meant a lot to him to for both of you to share this moment.
For sure. Yes. So, absolutely.
So what was Jeffrey like growing up? Was he all like a rambunctious kid? Was he always playing football? Was he outside? You know, what kind of kid was he?
You know, from the very beginning, I was a teen mom. And so, you know, that's got like a stigma on it from the beginning. But I knew that I wanted to make sure to make something, a life for him and a life for me. So I'm a nurse. And also a life for him. So if he wanted to play football, then I wanted to make sure it was obtainable for him. But he was such a good kid. Like he was quiet and he was very smart, could read and write very early. And he was just so focused on football. Like I mean, I don't want to sound like that mom, but he was like the best kid. Seriously. You know,
I believe it. Yeah.
He always has been very mannerable and he's always been focused. You know, even I think in high school, even he didn't go to parties. He didn't have very many girlfriends because he was so focused on football. And so, you know, he was serious about this NFL thing and he stayed focused. He really did. He focused on schoolwork and he focused on football, and those were his two loves. I mean, you know, I told him in order to get to where you need to go, you know, you have to, I know some guys go, oh, I don't need school, but you need school so you can get in a good school, a good college, and, you know, have the NFL to look at you. So, you know, like I keep saying, he was a great kid and still is very humble and grateful for all his opportunities that he has had through this period in his life. And I hope he's enjoying it. You know, he seems very happy in Cincinnati.
Well, that's good. I know us Bengals fans are happy that he's here because, like I said, I told you I talked to him a little bit outside of practice, and he's been a very, very, very nice young man to me because I'm just a crazy guy that goes to all the practices and tries to get, you know, Bengals players and stuff on my show, and I'm just a huge super fan. So, you know, he gave me the time of day and was very nice and said, you know, he'd come on my show later on. So he's been awesome to meet a little bit. I've been able to interact with him. So you said he was going to go to college and he ended up going to North Carolina. Then he transferred to Coastal Carolina. Is that correct?
So he started out in like his dream school in the very beginning when he was younger was to go to NC State. And I wasn't 100% sure why, but he always loved the Wolfpack. Even his little brother, who is 13 now, he used to grow up saying, Mom, my spirit animal is a wolf. So everybody loved the Wolfpack around the house. And so even though, we grew up in Duke country.
Right. Well, Duke doesn't have a football team, so you don't go to Duke for football. So
That's right. That's right. And so so he always wanted to go to NC State. So he got looked at by NC State, but because he graduated in December, a lot of the schools didn't realize that. Okay. And so, they didn't come and recruit him as a December early graduate. And so he got the offer from Coastal, and Coastal was excited to have him. And then right at the end, I think NC State showed their interest or something like that, but we were already going to Coastal. And then once I was going through my divorce and he felt like he needed to be closer to me, NC State was like, hey, we were looking at you when you were obviously in high school.
Right.
We would love to have you. And so, he didn't tell me right away that he was transferring. And because he was doing so well at Coastal.
Right.
And so, once he kind of told me, I was like, are you sure you want to do this? And he was like, yes, Mom, I want to do this to be really close to you. I think NC State was 10 minutes from the house.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty close.
Sure. Yes. And so he stayed the year. And, as a parent, you don't want your children involved in your personal things.
Right.
You want them to stay focused on what they have to stay focused on. So definitely, I was very grateful that he was considering me and choosing a place. But I'm sorry that he kind of did that, as a parent, you don't want that for your child.
Right.
But like you see, he's such a great kid. I couldn't stop him from coming. And so once he saw that Mom was okay and things were fine for that year, I guess he felt like, okay, I miss my teammates at Coastal. I'm not 100% sure what his thought process was, but nonetheless, he transferred back to Coastal. But I'm kind of glad he got that opportunity because they went and they won the championship, I think, and then they went to finally got their bowl win, and he was a part of that. So I'm very happy for him. We never know why things always, I'm not super religious, but I definitely believe in God. But I tell him all the time that God puts people and you end up in places for a reason.
Right.
And so I definitely believe that things happen for a reason. And I'm told him the same thing when he ended up in Cincinnati, even though he got drafted in the 7th round, which we all were hoping he would go a little bit higher. But I said, look at you. You ended up with a Super Bowl team, and then go out there and show them that you are meant to be there, even though it was a 7th round draft pick. Show them that you are still meant to be on that field, just like, anybody else.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And so he's got some great teachers in Trey and Sam and the other guys that are, ahead of him. So I'm hoping that he'll make this roster and, he'll keep going making, the Browns and the rest of the Cincinnati family happy.
Exactly. I mean, he's doing a great job so far, and he's in a perfect spot because we need guys in that position because Sam and Trey can't go every down. So they got to have some breathers in, and who knows, eventually he might get more and more time. I mean, hell, he played almost the whole game Sunday. I mean, he had to be wore out, I would think, because he played special teams, he played defense. I mean, hell, I'm surprised he didn't go out and play wide receiver or something. He was playing everywhere else.
He probably would have if they asked him to.
Right, exactly. So how tired was he after the game? Did you get a chance to talk to him?
I did. Of course I did. So of course he was exhausted, but this is what he's here to do. He is, like you keep saying, and I keep saying, he's very humble. He's excited to be here, and he's willing to do what it takes to, be a part of this team. He wants to bring home the Super Bowl. If he can help do that, he wants to do that this season. So anything they ask of him, he is willing to do, even if that means he's exhausted. So, yes.
No, that's great. Now, I know correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was on another podcast, my buddy's Willie Let's podcast, and they were trying to decide his number. Is that true, or am I getting that wrong?
Yeah, I think he was on there. I think I do remember. I can't obviously keep up with all his interviews, but
Yes.
I think I remember that interview. And he was trying to decide his number, and then he's like, "Mom," he called. He's like, "Mom, which number should I get?" And I'm like, 94. Of course. He's like, somebody already got that number on the team. And I was like, well, get as close to 94 as you can. So he got the 93. So.
Well, I like 93. That's the year I graduated high school. So that's good.
Oh,
Good
okay.
year. That's a good year for me. I like that one. So
for sure.
So are you planning on we're going to speak this into existence when Jeffrey makes the roster, which I honestly really do think he's going to. Are you planning on coming to all the home games or as many as you can, or how are you with your health wise? You know, how things go with that?
Yep. Everything, as many as I can get to. And then, like I said, I'm a nurse. And so I work in a OBGYN office. And so we are a Monday through Friday thing. So like, for example, this late game this weekend, you know, I since it's preseason too, I didn't want to have to take off work to go to the New York Giants one, but I'm definitely going to be watching that at home here on the couch on the big TV. So going to catch that one since it's one of the Sunday late games, but definitely plan to get to as many games as I can. Last year, I went to every game except the 2 that they changed. And so I couldn't get to those due to my work schedule. I worked in the hospital. I was a supervisor in the hospital during those times. And so I had to stay, you know, because it was my time to work. But I was sad. I think one game, I think I almost cried because I couldn't make it. He's like, Mom, it's okay. It's
okay. So how far is Coastal Carolina? How far is that school from where you live?
Maybe
you said North Carolina is like 10 minutes away, or NC State's from 10 minutes away from you.
Yeah. So it was like 3 hours away.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe 2.5 hours, depending upon how fast I could drive.
There you go. Make sure there's no cops out there and fly on down there.
Right.
Now I remember Coastal Carolina, honestly, I'd never heard of them really until last couple of years because I'm a University of Cincinnati Bearcat fan. So the Bearcats and Coastal Carolina were the two like outside schools that were trying to bang on the door to get into, you know, the playoffs, get into the big bowl games. So that's when I started hearing about Coastal Carolina and paying attention to them.
Right.
So what was that run like the last couple of years with Coastal Carolina and then coming from, I don't want to say nowhere, but like I said, nobody's really heard of that school before. And now people have, you know, so what was that run like the last couple of years with Jeffrey being on the team and you watch it from the stands?
I mean, of course it is like just like this dream. It's a dream come true because, you know, it's a small school and you want that small school recognition. And so for them to be a small school and get this national ranking,
right?
Oh my gosh, it was so surreal. And then for him to be a part of it, again, like I mentioned before, I explained to him because we prayed so much for him to get into the NFL. And I was like, see, this is your time. You know, I said, God puts people in your place. And this is, you know, why you are on this team at this moment in your life. Absolutely. Because you guys are getting national recognition right now. All the NFL teams, especially, we don't like to talk about it too much, but like that game when they played BYU.
Oh yes, I remember that game. That was a good game to watch. Especially when you weren't really rooting for either team, you're just watching football. It was an awesome game to watch for me.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
And then me and Jeff talked before every single game, even if like for some reason I couldn't be there right away. We would FaceTime before he went out on the field, and you know, right before that game, I was like, "This is your game." You know, this is it. I said, Zach Wilson is going to be a first-round draft pick. And I said, when they go back and look at this film, guess who's they're going to see chasing them? You.
Yep.
So I was like, you know, so this is your opportunity to be recognized. And I said, even if for nothing else, but the kid that's chasing Zach Wilson around, they'll at least know your number and your name.
Right. Exactly. So I want to get to my buddy Dale here, who's kind of a draft expert. You're talking about how you guys thought that Jeffrey would have got drafted a little sooner. Dale here said I had him rated much higher, but it will not matter. Keep balling. Tom Brady was a 7th rounder. So
Yes.
exactly. So like I said, like you said, I completely agree with you. I believe the same thing, that things happen for a reason. You know, I think
Right.
Jeffrey was put here on the Bengals for a reason. Like, we need him. He's a good player, and I think he's going to fit right in. And so far he has. What I guess what are the big changes for him? Like, because Cincinnati's farther away than Coast Carolina. Like, do you get to see him as much as you have in the past, or is it kind of the same way as when it was in college?
It's the same way when it was at college. Like I said, I liked him to stay completely focused. I don't want him worried about me. That's one reason why I kind of hid my diagnosis from him for
Right.
so long.
Mhm.
I want him to focus because this is his dream. He's worked so hard to get here. And whatever it takes for him to make the 53-man roster and to stay on the 53-man
Yes.
roster,
Yes.
that's what we as a collective family cohesive whole want for him, because this has been his dream since he was 5 years old. And whatever it takes for him to do that, we want him to stay focused. So he'll call me every day just about, but like I said, he reaches out to me, and we talk football and how he's doing. And like I said, he seems so happy there. He seems like he's learning a lot, and he is doing a great job. I couldn't be more proud of a person than him at this moment. And so he knows I told him the same thing. My car drives, and as long as there's planes going back and forth in the air, I'll be there as long as I can get there. My doctors don't say I can't go,
Right.
or something is totally preventing me from going. But get to as many as I can. He knows that.
Absolutely. So real quick, just to clarify, where are you at on your? Are you done with chemo? Was that your last one? So you're
done with chemo, finished radiation the week of the game, which worked out perfectly. And so now just kind of letting my body heal, and then we'll do a rescan soon. So
So you're still waiting to make sure that everything is gone and you get the all clear and back to life as normal, right?
Right.
That's what we're all praying and hoping for. I know ever since I heard about it, I've definitely been praying about it. Praying about you. That's why I DM'd you and said, "Yeah, thoughts and prayers to you." Because I mean, that's something hard. Which it would suck, because he finally is getting to the point where he's at, and then he's got this thing going on with his mom. It's like, so I totally understand where you're like, don't worry about me. You focus on what you got to do. I got this. You take care of that, and we'll get it all done together. So it's looking good so far. So when you came to Cincinnati, did you get a chance to check the city out at all or anything, or was it just a quick come in and go back home?
It was a quick come in and go back home, but I did stay the whole Saturday. I got a late flight out just so I could go around the city a little bit, but definitely looking forward to, like, my boyfriend came with me this time, and I was like, oh dear, we gotta come back and say maybe take a week off, and so we can explore the city. So we went to the river, kind of went around, went to the banks. I think there was about to be a Reds game on that Saturday before we left, so we got to see the stadium. We went downtown a little bit, and we went to Sleepy Bees.
I got you.
But definitely looking forward to coming in and exploring. My brother's coming to the home game with me this time, so we'll explore. Obviously, when we come back next week.
Awesome. Well, two things you have to do. One, have they told you about Skyline Chili yet?
Somebody DM me about the Skyline Chili. So but the problem is I don't eat beef or pork.
Oh no.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I got another for you. How about, do you like pizza?
Yes.
And spaghetti? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have to try La Rosa's. La Rosa's. And then the other thing is, you like ice cream?
Yes.
Okay. Grater's has the best ice cream in the world, in my opinion. I'm a little biased, but if you don't eat beef or anything, we'll skip the Skyline. But La Rosa's and Grater's, you've got to try both of those. Those are delicious. Now, number two is, when you come in, if you want to tailgate, you should come hang out at the Jackpot Joey tailgate, and we can have you try some nice. If you drink, we should have you try some nice Jackpot Joey beer that we're going to have, or some other stuff, and play cornhole and have some fun. So you guys stop by and say hi to us.
Well, I'll do that. So how about once I get out there, I'm flying in Saturday because I've got to get my youngest ready for school. They start school Monday, right? Monday after the game.
Right.
I'm flying in early Saturday morning. So right before the game, I'll DM you and see where you are.
Sounds like a great idea. Sounds like a plan to me. I would love to meet you in person sometime. And by the way, I appreciate you doing this. I know you rushed home to get here. So I appreciate you. Like I said, we could have done it later. You didn't have to rush home. We could have recorded it or whatever.
No, it's no problem. I got home just in time. Like literally walked in from the garage with 5 minutes to spare. So don't worry. I don't mind doing it.
Perfect. Now, real quick, what part of North Carolina are you in?
I'm right near the airport. So like they call it Raleigh-Durham area.
Okay. Because I was born in Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I only lived there for like the first year of my life. My dad was in the Air Force base there. Then we he got out, and then we moved back to Cincinnati. So I'm always curious of where I've been back to Goldsboro like one time, and I don't really remember it. So
yeah,
I always say I was born there, but I was raised in Cincinnati. So
right. Everybody knows. Most of the people know where the airport is. So I'm literally 8 minutes from the airport. So
I got you. Well, I put it this way. I've driven through there heading out to the Outer Banks, and I've seen the exit signs for Duke and then the exit signs for North Carolina. So I know where I was close to you when I did that.
Yep. I'm literally, like I said, 10 minutes. I'm 10 minutes from the Carter Finley Stadium.
I got you.
So not far at all.
So your family, did you grow up, were you a Duke, North Carolina fan, or are you guys all NC State fans?
So I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, but came here after high school, back to North Carolina. My mother is from North Carolina, so she moved here when I was obviously a little girl. And so I probably get crucified for this, but I don't have a dog in the fight. So I'm not a Duke or UNC fan.
I thought that was like a thing you had to choose down there.
I know. See, that's what I just told you. I'm gonna get crucified if they see it, they're gonna be like, you know what? We disown you. Go to Cincinnati.
We don't know who that lady is.
Right. Go to Cincinnati. But yes, most of the people pick a side.
Right.
And so I feel like exactly like you said, Duke doesn't have much of a football team, so. For basketball, every now and then, I would root for Duke, depending upon who they were playing.
Right.
So it would be hard during, basketball season if NC State, UNC, Duke were playing. So you just I'm neutral, and I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm neutral.
Hey, that's all right. You're allowed to be neutral. It's fine. So Jeff he grew up, I guess, a NC State fan.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
So
they at least had a football team. So there you go.
Yeah.
So did you guys go to a lot of their football games since you're like 10 minutes away from there?
Not a lot, but we caught a few. We were so busy running with him, going to different places because, he played on the, I guess like the Little League or whatever they're called, Pop Warner.
Pop Warner, yeah.
And so we were running around the country going to those games. So on the weekends, because they are like all day Saturday.
Right.
So
my nephews played in a thing in Tennessee, and maybe you guys have played it. I don't know. It's called Rocky Top.
Oh,
yeah. They go for it's a lot. They go for a whole weekend, and they play. I don't know how many games. They play at least 2 games a day, and they play. It's a championship or whatever, and it's of like all-star teams or whatever, and they've done that a couple times. So I know that's down in I think it's in Knoxville. I think is where it is. So you say you're traveling around doing it. So I thought you might have went there.
No, that doesn't sound familiar, but we definitely went to a lot of different places, going to different camps and all of that stuff. Whew, so I'm tired just thinking about it.
So when did Jeffrey start getting noticed? Was it high school? Was it middle school? When did he start getting noticed?
It's crazy. He's played all around the defense. I think he's played like a safety and corner, I think. And he was a linebacker. And so I think one school started looking at him and they were like, oh, we can tell that he's going to be super tall and that we can put some weight on him. So we want to put him at defensive end. And so he was really nervous about that. Yeah. And so his senior year, I was like, go to your coach, his coach, Chris Howe. Okay. He played for East Carolina and he was the defensive coordinator at the time. But then he ended up being the head coach of their high school team. And I said, go to him and talk to him about it, And so he did. He gave him a shot and he put him at defensive end. And then it was all there. So that's why he kind of got late looks, because he only played defensive end for 1 year.
I gotcha.
But I think he was like second in the state.
Ooh.
I think I may be quoting him wrong, but I think he was second in the state, because I think the first guy was a guy who played in Person County.
Okay.
Was the number 1, and I think Jeff was number 2 after his senior year.
Well, there you go. That's pretty good right there. Now, I think you already kind of answered this, but I'll ask it anyway. Dale is asking, was football always Jeffrey's favorite sport?
Always.
Did he ever play anything else? Did he ever play baseball or basketball or anything, or was it just football all the time?
He funny you should ask. When he was little, somebody said, you better get that boy in somebody's gym. He's going to jump out of the gym, because he was so tall.
Right.
And he had these huge calves when he was little. And so he did play basketball for a little while, but very quickly did he switch to football.
So he could dunk the ball, I'm assuming.
Oh, I'm sure he could.
That's one dream I never could do. I could never dunk a basketball. I could dunk a volleyball. Well, I'm 47 years old now. I have no shot of dunking anything other than a donut and a cup of coffee or something. That's the only thing I can dunk it in. So,
right.
Anyway,
I think he did some wrestling in high school.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Well, that's good for if you're a defensive lineman. Definitely, you do the wrestling for the hand placement and stuff like that. So, who was did you guys have well, obviously the Carolina Panthers, but did you guys have an NFL team you rooted for? I mean, was it the Panthers or?
No, he growing up, he liked the New York Giants.
Well, he's gonna play against them. He's gonna play against them Saturday night or Sunday.
Yep. Because he loves Michael Strahan.
That's a good person to like. He's a good player.
Yeah. Yep. So he loved the New York Giants. I think I've got pictures around here with him in his New York Giants gear. But yeah, that was his team. I honestly didn't start to like football as much until he was getting pretty serious about it.
Right.
And then obviously I wanted to make sure I understood the game for him.
Right.
So I didn't have a team. Like, I still don't have a team in the fight until now.
Yeah, like, hello. Got a team now, baby.
Right?
Yeah. So have you been speaking of the Bengals, have you been practicing your Who Day chant? Do you know how to do?
Not yet. I need okay. Again, fans, please forgive me. I don't know the Who Day chant. So you have to help me.
All right. It's really, really hard. Like when people say Who Day, if you greet somebody, you say Who Day, you say Who Day back.
Right.
Or the song is Who Day, Who Day, Who Day think gonna beat them Bengals, Who Day, Who Day. That's it.
I used to be a cheer coach, so I better get it, right?
Yeah, all you gotta do is walk up to somebody and just scream Who Day at them.
Okay. I'm gonna do it next time.
Exactly. So that's how we greet people around here. We say Who Day, like Who Day.
Okay. All right. Next Saturday, I'm gonna be screaming it everywhere.
There you go. I'll DM you back and forth. We'll DM each other Who Day back and forth on the Twitter. Okay.
I love it.
Sounds good. Well, Jennifer, I don't want to take any more of your time. You give me a half hour. You were awesome.
No problem.
This has been a lot of fun. I cannot wait. Maybe sometime I can get you and Jeff on. That would be cool too. We could do a mother-daughter show. That would be awesome. Because I think it's really cool of the mother's point of view of what it's. Everybody always gets the son's point of view of what it's like, going to the NFL and everything. But the parents, I'm a parent. Obviously, you're a parent. We've been there for all the practices, all the cuts, the bruises, everything. And to see your son going through this, I think it's got to be just a prideful moment, and I think it's awesome.
Certainly is. My coworker, they're from Cincinnati, and they are Bengals fans. So once she found out my son played, oh gosh, she was so ecstatic. So I am, like I told her, I sit across from her every day, and so I said it's surreal. Every time I see his picture, I can't believe that that's my son. That I've got a son in the NFL first, and the son that plays for the Bengals. So believe me, I'm nervous too that somebody's gonna wake me up and say, "Oh, it was just a dream. Please don't wake me up. Don't wake me up."
Right, exactly.
Let it keep going. I'm so excited for him.
Well, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Like I said, we'll keep our thoughts and prayers for you to stay healthy and get over this cancer, and you can come back to Cincinnati and have some fun with us, and we can watch Jeffrey hopefully play in the stripes for years to come.
Oh, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. I already went by the pro shop, got me some things, so I'm ready to rock my Bengals gear.
Do you have a 93 jersey yet?
It's on the way. I ordered
it. All right. And you got it's Gunner. You got to spell it right. Gunner, not Gunther.
Yeah,
Gunner.
Right.
Make sure everybody gets it right. It's Gunner.
That's right. Thank you.
So I don't think I'll mess that up again. I'm gonna fix it on my picture that I made.
It's okay. We are grateful that he's being talked about, no matter if it's a misspelled or mispronounced name. So thank you.
Hey, sometimes bad publicity is good publicity. You never know.
That's right. That's right.
Exactly. All right, Jennifer. Well, I appreciate you coming on. And like I said, do this again. And like I said, DM me. We can hang out at the Jackpot Joey tailgate. That'd be great.
Absolutely. I will. You'll hear from me. Okay.
All right. This is how we end it. Ready? Hooday. There you go. You see, you're a natural. You already got it. Thanks. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. She was awesome. She gave me a whole half hour. Like I said, she's been going through a lot. I'm glad she was able to get on the show. And like I said, I think Jeffrey is going to be a very good player for the Cincinnati Bengals. Hopefully for years to come. Hopefully he'll come on the show. We'll see. And yes, I forgot Haas. Nobody. I gotta put that part at the end of the Who Day chant. Anyway, let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And I appreciate every single one of them. They are Who Day Nation, Who Day Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and then you can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trunable. TikTok is at Iceman90. I'll be pulling a sound off later on tonight, put it on the podcast. Make sure you check it out. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Please give me a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it. Tell more friends about my podcast. That would help. YouTubers, I'm at 1,826 subscribers. You guys are awesome. I'm trying to get to 2,000 by the time the season rolls around. We're getting closer. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we got football this Sunday. I cannot wait. Bengals will be back at Paycor Stadium in 2 weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys have a wonderful evening, and that's just sports, baby. See ya!